Hello there, boys and girls, and welcome to It's a Shaw Thing. I'm your host, Rob Shaw, and we are talking fantasy football. Wow, week one's not even done, and we have plenty of stories to discuss today. Who's moving up and who's moving down in this fantasy world that we live in. We're going to start at the quarterback position. Everyone talked about Brett Favre, but what about that other guy on the other side, Chad Pennington? What numbers he put up? In fact, they were better than Brett Favre. Over 250 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have that interception, completed more than 60% of his passes, and that's what that guy's all about. Now, Miami has some big options at tight end, and that's what Pennington loves to throw to. So I see Pennington having some fantasy value. He's a safe pick. He's not going to go out and give you 300 passing yards and 3-4 touchdowns. It's not in the books for him, but what he will do is give you a touchdown. He won't give you many interceptions. He is a safe pick, and I understand there might be a guy missing from the AFC East, so on that note, suddenly you have a decent option to replace him with. All right, moving on, a guy who's moving down at that position, and that has to be Derek Anderson. He threw for less than 120 passing yards. How is that possible when you look at the options that he had? Braylon Edwards, Kellen Winslow. He just didn't connect often enough. He did have 1 touchdown, no interceptions, but there is some cause for concern there. You have to wonder if that preseason injury to his head might be plaguing him now in the regular season. Well, if it continues to happen for the next couple of weeks, Brady Quinn is ready to take over, so Derek Anderson's value right now is certainly headed downhill. Now at the running back position, everyone's going to talk about Michael Turner and the record-breaking performance he had in Atlanta, but let's talk about the other guy in there, Jerious Norwood. Same team, 14 rushes, 93 yards, and a touchdown. I'll tell you what, it wasn't just garbage time for him. This is a guy who's going to have some important carries. And on that note, it is somewhat of a split backfield. Turner will get the majority, yes, but Norwood will certainly get more than he had in the past. This is a guy who now, with 214 career rushes in the books, has a yards per carry average of greater than 6. This guy knows how to rush. He could do some damage. Jerious Norwood is certainly a guy to pick up right now. And now finally, at the guy moving down at that position, Maurice Jones-Drew. What happened? I thought this was the year that he overtakes Fred Taylor as the #1 rushing option for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not the case. 9 rushes against Tennessee for Fred Taylor, just 5 for Maurice Jones-Drew. He did have a couple of receptions for a couple of yards, but that's not enough. From your #1 or #2 running back position, you need to get a guy who is steady, and unfortunately he just does not get enough action and not enough carries in order to warrant that, even though he is the best playmaker on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, we talked about that game. Now let's talk about the tight end position, and for that we go to Tennessee. Everyone was all excited, including myself, about Alge Crumpler this year. You figure the whole connection with Michael Vick, mobile quarterback, you'd have a similar connection with Vince Young, but so far not the case. 1 reception for 4 yards. I'll tell you what, that Bo Scaife kid is pretty good. In fact, he had a fantastic game. 6 receptions, 105 yards. Look at the numbers last year, 421 receiving yards. This is a guy who consistently improves each and every year. This year, he might be able to get around 600, 700 receiving yards. He is the more athletic player compared to Crumpler. That makes him the better fantasy value. All right, my friends, well, that's It's a Shaw Thing for now. We'll keep you updated on fantasy sports throughout the week right here at opensports.com.
For more great videos, check back every day on opensports.com.